Pat the Designer here. We got our man Pat the Designer to talk a little NFC North as our NFL previews continue as we get closer to the season. We've done the entire AFC. We did the NFC West last week. This week we've got the NFC North with our man Pat the Designer. Let's get right into it. Back on Trash Talk Radio with Pat the Designer, our man in Chicago, joining us to talk a little NFC North preview, this time for Guru's round of previews. Pat the Designer, you can find him on everywhere. Pat the Designer, YouTube, and Windy City The Breeze. Great show, big fan. Welcome back to Trash Talk Radio, man.
Man, it's good to be back. How y'all feeling?
Feeling good. Happy to talk to a guy from the Midwest on this because I know you got some big feelings about the NFC North as well. So I just, where do you want to start on this one, Guru?
Yes, of course I'm talking about the NFC North, and I can't talk about the NFC North without going to the best guy to talk about the NFC North, which is my guy from the Chi-Town, baby, Pat the Designer, man. So I got to thank you for once again blessing me with your presence. And I know me and you usually don't see eye to eye, so we just gonna kick this off straight up because I know how you feel being a Chi-Town person.
Let's be clear here. Hometown bias in full effect for our man Pat. He is a Bears
100%.
fan. There's no
100%.
no doubt about it. But we know he also knows what he's talking about. He's a Bears fan, and he knows what he's talking about.
What we're talking about. And with that said, they did win the division last year. So you always want to start with that, with the respect, with all due respect to the division champion. So you always start with the champion before you go with the contenders. So currently, the Bears are the champions. I think they do have a lot of hype coming back. Obviously, Nagy and the Mitch Trubisky connection. They made a stride. They showed moments. Put it like this. I believe last year they showed some moments. They showed glimpses. I thought personally they overachieved. I know me and Pat discussed this before the season last year. I didn't think the Bears, I think that defense rode them and that emotional high to where they were. Obviously, people could always talk about Mitch making that one throw in the playoff to get them in that field goal range. Yes, that is a flash throw, but we got to see more from Mitch. It's just something about Mitch. I think Matt Nagy does a great job of just making plays for Mitch. You know, I think now the defense, now people know about the defense. So I think they're going to game plan a little bit different. And obviously, Banjo is gone from there. So the defense is going to take a different emotional leadership as far as the coordinator. So I don't expect the defense to dominate as much as it did last year, but they will still be very, very good. A top 5 defense, don't get it twisted, in the league. But in what the weakest thing, when I look at the teams, I would look at the weakest link, and the weakest link I see in the Chicago Bears is Mitchell Trubisky.
Well, I think, hang on, before we go to Pat, I think the weakest link in the Chicago Bears last year was whoever was kicking at any given time. They were, let's not forget that they were a double doink away. Yeah, I mean, even as an Eagle fan myself, they were a double doink away from.
This is what we're saying. As a quarterback, sometimes you got to lead a team. You got to make certain plays.
All right. So you got to make sure the kicks go in when you're the quarterback. But Pat, how do you feel about the Bears this year, man?
Listen, when I'm talking about my Bears this year, I'm hyped, and for the first time in a long time. Because last season we were excited, we wasn't hyped. This year I'm hyped because listen, one double doink, I watched the rest of that playoffs. The Chicago Bears would have been in the Super Bowl. Mark my words on that. The Chicago Bears would have been in the Super Bowl, and how that game went down, how that Super Bowl went down, we probably would have won it because that's the exact kind of game we would have won it versus Tom Brady. A game where he didn't have his best game. He wasn't throwing 400 or 500 yards. That would have been the perfect year for us, but a double doink takes us out of it. Alas, we sat where we sat. Coming into this season, my Chicago Bears, listen, I'm excited. I will agree with you on this, Guru. Mitchell Trubisky is our weakest point, but that's not due to
Dude, that's your quarterback. That is your weakest point is your quarterback. You're fucked. Let's not beat around the bush here.
But yes, agreed. But this is the thing. It's our weakest
the
point.
Jaguars.
It's our weakest point because we don't know what he can be. Like Guru said, we saw those flashes. Guru was a lot more than just that one playoff game. He did have a huge game against the Buccaneers, dominated that thing, and he really made plays when we needed him to make plays. And the thing is, he didn't mess plays up. At the worst, Mitchell Trubisky is maybe a sore spot for you right now, but he could be Alex Smith at his worst right now. He's a guy who's going to make plays for you, and he's not going to mess those plays up. He's not going to take you out of the game. And at this point, coming from a team that has had no quarterback, I can live with that. As far as the defense, if you think that defense is going to take a step back, with Chuck Pagano in there saying, hey, Khalil Mack, I want you to pin your ears back and kill the quarterback as much as you can, you are out of your mind. We honestly have the best football player in the league on that defensive line right now in Khalil Mack. And by the way, somebody's got to double team somebody. And Akeem Hicks is in the middle. Leonard Floyd coming off the edge. This defense is so stacked, there's no chance they take a step back. Maybe they get a few less interceptions, but the fumbles will make up for it.
Okay. And then who's the corner over? Is it Amukamara and Fuller?
I could listen to him talk all day, but I almost sure in there I thought he said Alex Smith at
best.
As a good thing? Like that was your okay.
Hold on though. Chiefs Alex Smith with this Bears defense, would they not have won a championship?
It's hard to say.
Alex Smith had the 49ers defense, who at that time I believe is better, if not compared to the Bears defense.
It's hard to say.
Smith had no offense on that 49ers.
Who's kicking? I think that's the real question. So hang on. Let's talk about the rest of the division because this Bears team definitely it was the only one there to make it last year at 12-4. But there's a couple other teams in this division that have star-level quarterbacks. The Vikings and the Packers are both star-level quarterbacks. They don't have the weakness there, and they're both kind of itching to go again this year. Guru, do you see these teams as threats?
And this division, I think one of these two teams is going to be the biggest threat. And when I mean a threat, I mean this team. For instance, I believe the Minnesota Vikings is a more complete team than the Chicago Bears.
Oh, so you're back rolling with your cousin?
Yeah, my favorite cousin. Second year now, Zimmer. Now we get to see. Now see, thing you got to realize, it's so quiet in Minnesota. It's not like last year when it was Super Bowl or bust, all this loud noise. Guess what's happening? Do we know anything that's happening? But in Chicago, it's hype, dude. It's the hype train. It's about Super Bowl or bust in Chicago right now. If they don't go to the Super Bowl, and Pat, you could argue with me because he even said how hype he is. If they don't go to the Super Bowl, they're going to be looking for a new quarterback more than likely because that's where they're at it right now. Because this year is their year for them.
I agree with that. The Bears are definitely a quarterback away from the Super Bowl, and I don't know if Trubisky's that guy. But then let's talk about the Vikings because they were a team expected to do more than they did last year on the come up again with the big contract going to Kirk Cousins. They had big dreams last year as well. A lot of hype in Minnesota last year. You're right, quiet there. How is this team going into this season, and is it better than last year?
Same team, better year. Same team now coming together.
Listen, you want to talk about a team where their weakest link was their quarterback. Let's take a look at the Minnesota Vikings. Was Stephon Diggs bad last year? Did Stephon Diggs fall back? I don't believe so. Did Adam Thielen lose talent all of a sudden? I don't believe so. Did Delvin Cook forget how to run? I don't believe so. You brought in Kirk Cousins, and guess what? Kirk Cousins, we want to talk about a hype train?
Yeah,
Let's
seriously.
talk about Kirk Cousins.
I'm not on the Cousins
train. The guy
train.
who, you like that? You like that? Yeah, we don't like that,
not
Kirk.
at all.
Because, listen, when we need you to make plays, you can't make plays. You're on Sunday Night Football talking about you're the reason that the Bears got flexed, and then you got flexed. So come on. If we want to talk about a quarterback who's hype, that may be your favorite cousin, but everybody has a goofy cousin that they love.
I love this
put
guy.
it like that. From position
Pat,
to
you
position
come back
wise,
anytime you want, man.
The Vikings, obviously, their front four is dominant. Lenvell Joseph over there, Hunter over there, Everson Griffin over there. You know how dominate and Barr and company. So the Vikings got all pro caliber guys as well on their front seven. And also their secondary, who I personally believe are better than your secondary. So, and then it comes down to, yes, I believe Harrison Smith, Xavier Rose, Trey Wayne, and Hughes and Mackenzie Alexander, all those guys are better than Kai Fuller, Prince Amukamara. Eddie Jackson is my boy. Don't get it twisted. I love me some Eddie Jackson. But, you know what I mean? Y'all lost Amos over there. So I definitely think the Vikings got a better secondary than you guys. And frankly, I think Zimmer is a better defensive coordinator than Pagano. So we will see how
But
that
at the end of the day, what makes your secondary great? Your secondary can have the best names in the world. It don't mean a thing if you ain't got guys in the front pressure and the quarterback. And the Bears got that. Come on, son.
Oh, you talking
the Vikings,
about? Look,
I'm not taking away. I'm not
Hunter
taking away from
and
the Vikings
Everson
defense.
Griffin
I agree with you.
Hunter and Everson Griffins, those are double digits. I'm talking about 12 to 13 sacks combined, those guys. Just like you got Hicks and Khalil Mack.
I agree with you. The Vikings have a nice team, but at the end of the day, it's the same thing that you have to say about the Bears. What will Kirk Cousins do this season? Kirk Cousins is not a proven commodity. And listen, this Trubisky is in his second year of a brand new offense. Kirk Cousins has been in the league for what, 5-6 years now? And he still really has not proven it when it needs to be proven. Yeah, he's a great guy when nothing's on the line. He's a great guy to put up big touchdown seasons. But when I need you to win me a game at the end of the season, i.e. the Bears game last year, where were you? Sitting on the ground. Even look at when he was on the Redskins, just trying to get into the playoffs. This is the guy that you're paying big money to, the guy that never gets the job done. At least get it done once.
He's not wrong, Guru. Pat, you're welcome back every time, man. I feel the same way about Kirk Cousins. But the difference I think between Cousins and Trubisky is that I think Cousins has a lot more potential than Trubisky myself. I think if Cousins plays the way that he could, the way that he's flashed, the way that he shows but isn't consistent with, then I think Cousins is a bigger threat than Trubisky. I think it's the rest of the teams around. I think it could really go either way with both of these squads this year. But you talk about a proven commodity. You talk about the guy you went at the end of the game. We haven't even talked about Aaron Rodgers yet, who some people say is some people consider the best quarterback in the game or the best player. Guru, you say he's the second best Aaron. The second best Aaron.
Really gonna see what Aaron is, man. I always told you he's not a leader. I've always never respected his leadership. I told you that Super Bowl they won, that's a Charles Woodson Super Bowl. Charles Woodson led that team. It was a Charles Woodson Super Bowl. Since Charles Woodson left, Aaron Rodgers have not gone to the Super Bowl. Anyways, that's a side note. So I think him and Matt LaFleur, there's already tension already because he's an arrogant type of dude. He's a me type of guy. He wants to be the guy, do what he wants to do. And Matt LaFleur wants to get him in a system. He wants to coach him in a situation. And there's been some little rumors, bickering, going back and forth. But at the end of the day, I think they're going through a transition. They got a really good team, but it comes down to, once again, it seems like the same rhetoric in this division is the quarterback. It's like, what quarterback are we going to get in this division? Whichever quarterback continuously play up to their potential will eventually, or play at least, don't play to the least of their potential, will win the division.
See, I think this is the wild card here. I think Green Bay's the wild card. Pat? I don't mean the wild card team.
Did you just say Aaron Rodgers doesn't play up to his potential? Like, listen. I hate the Packers. Like, don't get it wrong. Like, I will never say that I think the Packers are going to outdo the Bears. I'm talking about I hated the Packers in like 2001 when I knew the Bears weren't going to do it. But you're still like, yeah, no, they're not going to win nothing. But I got to respect Aaron Rodgers. Like, listen, when you say they got a nice team, let's slow that down. They got Devontae Adams. Nice player, but really nice player. Brought back Mercedes Lewis. Well, yeah, he's okay. He's a guy you can. But they got Aaron Rodgers. They got a bad man back there, Stephen A. Smith would say. And that's really the team. That's the entire team. This entire season, like with everybody else, depends on Aaron Rodgers. Depends on your quarterback. This defense, I like the addition of Amos. I love Adrian Amos.
I still like those odds.
Adrian Amos is your number one.
I hear you. Like I said, I've seen Charles Woodson led Green Bay Packers to a Super Bowl. Y'all can say Aaron Rodgers. When Charles Woodson left that team, the leader of that team, I haven't seen Aaron so-called Rodgers hasn't won no Super Bowl. He hasn't been to a Super Bowl. I've seen Cam Newton, Russell Wilson, all those young quarterbacks beat Aaron Rodgers, Matt Ryan to go to the Super Bowl. So I don't even want to hear that shit about Aaron Rodgers is this great guy. Yes, he got a nice ball. It looks pretty. I've seen a lot of great quarterbacks that looks good throw the ball. He just don't have that it as far as winning. That's all. I'm talking about winning being that Super Bowl.
you realize you're saying that the best fourth quarter quarterback in NFL history isn't a winner.
Best fourth quarter. When is his fourth quarter by comebacks? He don't have no fourth quarter comeback. That's one of his deficiencies in his game. Is the weird stats in Aaron Rodgers' game. Is he has one of the least amount of comebacks in the fourth quarter.
I don't know this.
Because for most of his career, he's been up. These last few years have been a show. Listen, you're making me talk good about the Packers. I feel bad. I hate to defend Aaron Rodgers. I really do. But, I mean, the disrespect is outlandish here. Like, what quarterback
I know, it's great, right?
do you got at the top? Because, listen, Aaron Rodgers, the Packers are trash. The Packers are trash. Like, they're the Packers. Like, at the end of the day, they got to go home to Green Bay with them. I'm sorry. That's a bad place to go. But at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers
It's a good shot.
is Aaron Rodgers. He has never had talent on that offensive end. His best running back wouldn't push away from the table and gain like 300 pounds. So, like, he's never had anything put around him. And listen, he's still been successful. From a Chicago standpoint, from a quarterback who, like you said with Kirk Cousins, had all the intangibles, showed all the flashes. We had Jay Cutler. All I ever heard was he never had nothing put around him. Guess what? Aaron Rodgers ain't never had nothing around him. And he's still proven to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Please stop making me defend this, man.
All right, so let's stop making you defend this, man. I tend to agree a little more with you. I think with Aaron Rodgers back there, you always have a puncher's chance, and that is a sign of a good quarterback. But I don't think the Packers are that big a threat this year compared to the others. Again, puncher's chance in any game. So we're not even gonna, we're running late on time here. So let's not even worry about the Lions. It's not
we don't even know.
We know they're
nobody was worried about the
exactly.
Lions.
We know they're not winning the division. So let's break it down here towards the end. Guru, who wins the division, and is there another playoff team in this division?
No, I think it's going to be just like next year. It's going to be one team that goes in the playoff in this division, and it will be the Minnesota Vikings.
Pat.
Wow. I do agree with you that there will be one team that wins the division. I do believe that it will be the Chicago Bears. I think the Bears 11-5, 12-4, somewhere in that range again. And then listen, I think honestly, the Vikings really don't make a lot of noise this year. I think the Packers make a little more noise than the Vikings. And listen, I got both of these things struggling. This is going to be a league where it's going to be one playoff team. Nobody else comes out. I think maybe they get maybe 500. Maybe 500 for the Vikings. Maybe. But you can't trust Kirk Cousins. You cannot trust. And I'm going back on history. When has Kirk Cousins been effective for a team?
Hey, I'm going back what you guys are going. The defense is going to step up this year. Zimmer got those guys.
100%.
You know what? I'll tell you both. As an Eagles fan, I have always found Kirk Cousins to be very effective. Okay, so let's we have three things that we end here with every division. It is the best offseason move, the best player in the division, and then who's going to be the breakout, who's going to be the name that we may not know, but we'll know by somewhere around week 5. So, Guru, let's start with the best offseason move in this division. We'll do it quick. So, best offseason move, Guru.
This division really didn't make that major splash. I think the Lions made like the money splash, but I like what the Packers actually did defensively with a combination of guys. I do like Amos. I like that pick because they lost Dix, Aha, and I also like the pick from the young DN they picked up from Preston Smith. I think Preston Smith is straight, so I like the combination of what they did defensively over there in Green Bay.
Pat, best offseason moves.
For me, it is Ha-Ha. I believe Ha-Ha comes in and he next to Eddie Jackson, they proved to be a dangerous tandem. I think they proved to be something that the Bears really need back there. Like I said, losing Amos hurt because he was a guy for us. But Ha-Ha Clinton Dix is a ball hawk. And yes, sometimes he gambles, but with Eddie Jackson back there to send his butt, I think we're going to see the best out of Ha-Ha.
All right, who is the best player in this division, Guru?
Ooh, the best player in this division. You're going to make me say it.
I'm going to make you say it.
Yeah, obviously the best player in this division is Khalil Mack.
You better say it. You better say it.
Best player in this division.
I'll send you a picture of Aaron Rodgers laying with his butt in the air.
All right, final question on the NFC North. Who's going to be the breakout star? Whose name don't we know now or haven't heard in a while that is going to be the one that everybody's talking about?
Kenny Galladay from the Lions.
Kenny Galladay from the Lions?
The receiver. I think he's going to be a breakout guy, man. I think he's going to be a star over there, man.
You're a pro working the Lions in anyway. All right, Pat, you.
Listen, I know it really sounds like a bias thing, but I'm going to be honest with you. Watch this man, David Montgomery.
Yep.
He don't go down. He don't go down at all. He's got good speed, and he's got hands. He's a receiver. And the combination of him, Mike Davis, and Tariq Cohen, listen, I got to give credit to my man Ringo J on this one. He named him already Earth, Wind, and Fire. Let's get it.
All right, and that wraps up our NFC North preview here on Trash Talk Radio. Pat, before we let you go, man, thank you so much for being here. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Man, you can find me on Instagram at Pat the Designer. Always posting on YouTube at Windy City The Breeze. Make sure y'all go subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell so that you can get notified whenever we post. I appreciate y'all for having me, man. I appreciate y'all for having me, Drew. I always love talking trash to Guru because at the end of the day, he's a Redskins fan, and they're never going anywhere.
Hey, you know the funny thing is? Guess who plays this year? Guess who comes to D.C. this year? The Bears come to D.C. this year, Monday night.
Okay.
Pat,
So,
I can only imagine you get a phone call if the
at least
Redskins
one
win. And with that, we thank you for joining us, Pat. Thank you so much. Pat the Designer from Windy City The Breeze.
I appreciate y'all for having me, man.